Hello, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to this December astrology forecast. It's a great pleasure to be with you today. As we moved into this last month of 2022, in Greece, of course, we say Kalomina, which means have a good month. Everybody wishes each other. So I say to you, Kalomina, and I'd like to share with you the general energies that we're working with at this time. Now, I'm in a slightly different setting, so can I please check with you that you can hear me clearly enough and that the video is clear enough and that everything is working? That's the first question, please. I'd appreciate your feedback on that. And in the Northern Hemisphere, yes, thank you. As we move towards these festivals of light, of course, we've had Diwali, but now we move towards Hanukkah, towards Christmas. Thank you, Heidi. It is about now the energy of this month as we move towards the frequency where we're moving energy from Sagittarius to Capricorn. So it's a different frequency. The energy of Sagittarius is Jupiterian. It's expansive. It's exploring. It's going beyond your boundaries. And we're moving to Capricorn energy. Already on the 7th of December, we begin with Mercury going into Capricorn. And all the Mercury retrogrades this year, bar the very last one that goes into 2024, are in earth signs. So what I wanted to do initially, I had a feeling to light a candle, because here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving towards the solstice. And maybe we can light candles together at the end of this live stream. Maybe you can get a candle, because it's a time when we have an opportunity to increase the light on our planet. And so many religions, because Sagittarius rules religion, which is the time that we're in now, use candles, don't they, to bring in more of the light energy. And what's wonderful about candles is that when you light another candle, you've got even more light. So if we can begin to use this frequency of lighting up our world, of lightening the energy, of lightening the load for one another. This is a frequency shift, because as we often go into the depths of winter here in the Northern Hemisphere particularly, it's often a time of depression, sadness, loneliness often pervades. Doctors find they're writing more prescriptions for tranquilizers and antidepressants. So if we can begin to connect as a community of light beings, shining your candle, your light. We have Hanukkah, the festival of lights, Christmas lights. When all the lights come on, it's festive. Galactic friends, yes. And Alexandra, the winter solstice is the happiest day for Alaskans, because it means the days start to get longer again. So we're looking at this energy of reflection reflectiveness. Mars is retrograde all month. Mercury will go retrograde on the 29th of December. So we move into this new year with a need to reflect, to self-reflect. And to think about ways of how you can shine your light, share your light, bring the light. Some of you speak light language. But whatever you can do to bring in that sense of lightness into your world, and if it means lighting candles and sticking candles all over the place, I love it. When I go to my monastery nearby, I always light candles. Yes, it's beautiful here in Greece. We all sail through with various candles, and you light candles for people that you love, or for the world and for world peace. So I'd have this as a month of lighting candles and the reminder not to let the darkness pervade, but that just what you've lit your candle, thank you, pure light, yes. So let's bring in the light to the darkest corners of our earth, the darkest places, the saddest places, the places where there is sorrow and sadness and pain and suffering. Let's see where you can shine your light. And absolutely, Michelle, humor is great too. Talking to dear Auntie Jenny, 100 years young, she said to me, "Is there a new star in the heavens?" She said, "I thought I'd ask you," she said, "because that's your subject, isn't it?" She's very funny. She said, "Because for the last 3 weeks, I'm looking up in my bedroom window and there's been a star in the same place." She said, "It doesn't much look like a star." She said, "But they're shooting all sorts of things up in the air these days, aren't they?" She said, "And I thought you might know what it is." So you have to love her. So she's always bringing in the light, no matter where. So yes, comedy is a way of doing it. So we're in between this energy of Sag, which is an energy of learning, of expanding your perspective, of growing into being more of who you are, and moving from the 7th of the month, Mercury in Capricorn, the 11th, Venus in Capricorn, the 22nd, the Sun in Capricorn, the 23rd, a new moon in Capricorn, the 29th, Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. So we must now look more in depth at the frequency of Capricorn, Saturn energy. And people go, "Oh, Saturn." And I say, yes, Saturn. It all depends how you see Saturn. I'm preparing a whole webinar all about Saturn because I think it's one of the most misunderstood and misinterpreted planets. So I'll cover a little tidbits of it here to give you ideas of what Capricorn is about. But it's the 3rd earth sign. It's the last of the earth signs. We start with Taurus, then we have Virgo, then we have Capricorn. Capricorn energy, what does it have to do with? Yes, Saturnalia, thank you, Michelle. Saturnalia, also a pagan festival about celebrating the light, the birth of the new sun. And remember, you shine the light from inside of you. Somebody can be very old, but shines a bright light. I'm always reminded of Tao Porchon Lynch. I think she was 103, 104 and still teaching yoga, still going. And she had that light in her eyes, always gleaming, even in interviews when she was 100. My auntie's got that, Auntie Jenny, yeah? So is your light gleaming? in your eyes. So yeah, Teresa, your Saturn return was life-changing in an amazing way. So let's take a little look at Saturn, all right? Because it's important, very important planet. Why is it extremely important? Well, there's only the Sun and the Moon and Saturn who have one ruler, okay? So Sun is connected with Leo. It's the only sign that's connected with the Sun is Leo, shining. The Moon is connected with the sign of Cancer. Doesn't have a dual energy. Taurus and Libra both have Venus, right? Other signs have got two. And Saturn also sits on its own as ruler of Capricorn. So it's really strong and really significant. And it's also opposite the Moon. Cancer is the first water sign, opposite to Capricorn, the final earth sign. The Moon cycle is 28-29 days, opposite to Saturn cycle, which is 28-29 years. And the progressed Moon cycle is 28-29 years. There are so many synchronicities in astrology. It still amazes me and brings so much joy as to how our Creator had a plan, has a plan. This is Saturn, the plan, the strategizer, the bringer of order, the bringer of reliability. Somebody with a lot of Jupiter in the chart is often not very reliable. You may find you go and phone them and they've gone off to Hawaii or they've gone off somewhere suddenly without any warning. Whereas a very Saturnian person will let you know, is very reliable, is very dutiful. And as we move into Capricorn, we have Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, the last three signs of the zodiac. 3 signs. These 3 signs are what are known as the transpersonal energies. What does that mean? The first 9 signs, and remember we've got all of them in our charts. Yeah, you've got all the signs somewhere in your chart, just somehow weighed a little differently. And somewhere you will have Saturn, of course, which will explain a lot about your life and the cycles of your life. So Saturn and Capricorn have to do with the cosmic divine order. And if we obey the laws and commandments of the divine order of things, then Saturn is a blessing. Saturn is the most wonderful thing. But if we've been misbehaving, if we haven't been obeying the laws of the universe, like not cheating, not hurting our neighbor, not coveting your neighbor's things, if you haven't been obeying the laws of the universe, that's when Saturn comes in and says, oi, hang on a minute, hang on. There are cosmic laws at play. Saturn is the order. Saturn rules gravity. If you're going to throw yourself off a building, chances are you're not going to land very happily. There are certain rules and order to the cosmos. That's why Saturn rules ethics and morals. If you behave with integrity, then you're not going to get into trouble. If you don't overspend, Jupiter tends to overspend. Whoa, yes, excuse me. We've got plenty. Saturn says, hang on a minute. Excuse me. Saturn says, whoa, don't overdo it. Jupiter will say, oh, look at all that chocolate. Excuse me. I could eat chocolate all day, but eventually you're going to get fat or you'll get problems. And Saturn comes in and says, now, moderation. And you know it works. Saturn rules discipline. So it's a wonderful time to think about what are the ways in which I need to bring more moderation into my life. Where am I overdoing it? Am I overdoing it with finances? Am I overdoing it with sexual experiences? Am I overdoing it with food? Am I overdoing it with too much social life? Am I burning the candle at both ends? Where in my life am I going over the top? And begin to reflect upon that. Do you know? Maybe to share. Oh, I like that. A. Riley says, best not to overdo those holiday feasts and sweets. Thank you, Pure Light. Hit the like if you'd like to. If you like the video, hit the like button. Thank you. That brings more of our beautiful light beam soul family online with us. So what do you reflect? Overdoing on YouTube. Thank you, Dorina. Finances, says Teresa. It's beginning to cost a lot like Christmas. Oh, yes, Michelle, OTT chocolate. Yes, my weakness is peanut butter. I love it. You're an entertainer, eh, Riley? You overdo everything. So it's knowing where you need to discipline yourself. Saturn is about delayed gratification. Jupiter says, I want it now. Saturn says, hang on a minute. Hang on. If I have it now, is it going to serve me well? Jupiter says, I'm going to run the marathon. Saturn says, well, have you trained? Do you really think you can run that distance without training? So this is what we're working with now. This is the energy starting with the 7th, Mercury in Capricorn. Looking for practical ways that you can simplify your life, that you can make good use of the things that you do have in your life. My landlord's a Capricorn, so he's marvelous at, making something work that really is falling apart. And he'll find a way to make it work, maybe for another few months, a year, 2, you never know. But that's this Capricorn energy, let's be productive. Let's make use of the practical things in our world. And remove the things that are taking your energy in the material world, right? Because it just doesn't lead to happiness. So, for example, what I've done now in preparation for this, it's very expensive now with energy, right? The costs are they've tripled, more than tripled. Area, half the space now for the winter time. It's fine. It's less to heat. It's nice and cozy. It means that I have a contrast of temperature every time I go to my bedroom. I go from the North Pole to the equator within a few yards. But it's that Capricorn energy, how to make good use and not waste resources and worry about costs of energy when I'm able to live in a smaller area. So it's not about doing something unnecessarily to limit yourself, but just looking at ways in which you can be freed from unnecessary burdens of material costs. That's all. Oh, it's really hard, Bracha, on the body. No, not really. It's quite fun. It makes me laugh every time, to be honest. And I just feel so grateful that I've got a nice area that's really nice and warm, that retains the heat for lots of hours instead of heating another area. Exactly. So, what are the ways that you are now cannily using this Capricorn energy? Because what's coming up is we've got on the 21st of this month, information gathering, you wear snow gear in the house. I love it. And sleep in the same clothes all day, keeps the heat in. Wet wipes for shower and rags for saving whatever TP is. Toothpaste? Not sure. Okay, so you'll have your own way of doing things, all right? I'm not saying you have to do this, but this was just a way that I could see that would make life easier and less bothersome and less wasteful. Oh, toilet paper is TP, thank you for translating. So, what else have we got going on? What we've got going on is that Jupiter goes into Aries on the 21st of December, right? Just before the solstice on the 22nd. So we've got this cardinal energy going on. Aries is about what I want. Jupiter in Aries, really initiating something new, doing the things that you want to do yourself. And it's squaring up with this energy of Capricorn, which is about respecting the cosmic laws and acknowledging that Aries is about what I want, my wants, my needs. But realizing with the Capricorn Saturn energy that we're part of a cosmic law. We're part of something much bigger, and we don't have control over those bigger things. So there's this energy of new inventions, new things. Maybe what must come is free energy for all. That has to happen. We have to stop raping our Earth. We have to realize that we have Saturn consequences for what we're doing to our planet, and that these laws, the cosmic laws, sometimes take many years before we really see the consequences of our actions. So it's this knowing that what's about me, the Aries Jupiter, and the Saturn, where I have to live within certain disciplines. Because you know that if you don't get enough sleep, you feel awful. There are certain things, order of the body, that we need. So Saturn is about the consequences of your actions. So very much looking at consequences personally and what we're doing globally and how we're treating one another. How are we treating one another? So, free energy for all has to come. So you can look at Saturn in your chart, and Saturn also will change sign in March, so that's a significant time. But Saturn is so important. Every 7 years, 7.5 years, we have a Saturn event in your life. Age 7, you have the first Saturn square. Age 14, you come into puberty, you have the Saturn opposition. That's when you start to rebel against authority. Age 21, we have the next square to Saturn. That's when you become an adult. The Saturn return, age 28, 29. So Saturn punctuates our lives in cycles. It punctuates us. It gives us reminders of ways in which we must mature. Saturn rules the elders, the ancestors, the wisdom from the past. So that we don't have to start all over again. We've got some basic knowledge. We've got some basic information that's valuable, that's useful, that we build on. So it's a great time for building foundations and for looking at the structure of your life and what are the ways in which you want to restructure your world. And obviously we are now looking at our systems. Pluto is coming to the end of Capricorn. We've seen governments falling. We've seen all sorts of changes of government in England. There's all sorts of changes of systems coming. These are the kinds of energies that we're working with. So, yes, free energy is coming, Ed. There's no question about that. You're right. It's been suppressed for a very long time, but it is coming. And as Pluto goes into Aquarius, gradually March to June of next year, and then into 2024, I think that this is really coming. Yeah, Maria, you had a baby for your 21st. You grew up. There you are. Yep. And often women in certain communities have babies when they're 14 at the Saturn opposition or at the Saturn second square, which is age 21 or 28, 29 or 35 or 41 too. These are all Saturn times. Yeah. So think about practical, because Saturn is very practical. Capricorn is very practical. What needs repairing? What could you repair yourself? Getting things just into an order that works for you. This is really powerful time to do it with this energy. We've got the mutable energy, this changeable thing that's been going on and will go on. But starting on the 7th of December, we come into cardinal energy strong, then Jupiter going into an Aries. It's cardinal, it's new beginnings. It's, yes, Michelle, 21st of December, we're 10 years since the cosmic moment in December of 2012. Yeah, we're 10 years on. So it's really time to look at your aspirations. Yeah, what do you aspire to? What characteristics do you want to develop? What do you want to work on? What systems could you incorporate into your life now that would work for you? Maybe a really sensible diet. I always think of Capricorn as being very sensible. So what can you do that's sensible and useful? Blue 5, inner child therapy. Yeah. Okay, Aquarius says, I'm not an orderly person. You want to change it? Okay, so Saturn likes you to do steps at a time. 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, yeah? Slowly, gradually. So maybe sort out a drawer, sort out a cupboard. Some of you will be long-range planners. Some of you won't like that too much. But just baby steps. What are the things that you can do to bring more light into your world? Are there dark places in your home? Are there dark places in your thoughts? Are there dark places in your emotions? How can you bring in the light? I am just letting you know that I'll be doing a webinar all about Capricorn and this whole energy of Saturn and your Saturn in your chart on December the 20th. So if you're interested in that, you can take a look on my website, yourastrologyscience.com. Pure Light Organizing Your House is ongoing. I know what you mean. So remembering to go inwards, as Rumi says, there is nothing outside of yourself. Look within. Everything you want is there. Okay, so Maria is saying smile more and be kind. Megan says more Bach, and Alexandra says yes, yes. Michelle, unpacking your home. You've been living in your new apartment for months. Retraining, Christine, at 57, honoring your desire to train for a new career. Woohoo! Awesome. Awesome. Oh gosh, that's wonderful. Me be me, giving additional gently used things to friends and family that can use them. Baby steps. Yeah, it's always baby steps. Thank you, Albina. Yeah. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Stephen, you want a good laugh. All right, so here's a good laugh. My Auntie Jenny is giving her son David her credit card details on the phone. So she's very careful. She says, and the next number, David, is the number of my house. And the next number, David, is Alan's birthday. She's hilarious. And he's, cracking up laughing. So, yeah, be ready to light your candle. I'm sorry to hear that your dog Cosmo passed away yesterday. Sending you prayers and light. So maybe in another live stream, we'll all bring our candles and we'll light them together and we'll send a light all around our planet, an intention of sharing the light, of sharing kindness with other people. Even a smile. Honestly, your smile might just change the direction of somebody's life. Yes, everybody's telling us we should write a book about funny Aunt Jenny things. I know. We'll have to do something. Definitely. But yes, let's do this circle of light. Yeah. Circle of light. And remember, as Aristotle said, through discipline comes freedom. So many of you going through sorrow of lost ones. Alexandra, your cat. So this is often a time where we remember loved ones, where we light candles for loved ones, where there can be sadness and some tears. But remember that your loved ones are always with you. And it is my heartfelt belief that one day we do meet again with our loved ones who've passed on. And that while we're here, we do the best to shine the light. And I want to thank so many of you. Many of you have asked me about beloved Pam Gregory. She's had thousands of emails about her knee, and she's had a lot of healing, and she's very grateful for that. I got a quick message from her today saying that she's had so many emails, and she's very grateful, and she's going to do a video about what's happening very shortly. So that's the latest update that I have about our beloved Pam. And so let's send the light to all those who are in pain, suffering right now. Let's send them some light, some loving energy, some soothing energy. So that together we can change our world. We can do it. And there was a time of a golden age that is spoken of, that in fact was ruled by Saturn. Because in the golden age, people didn't need to be told about laws and rules and not hurting one another. They just knew it naturally. Yeah. They knew it innately. So I'm beaming across light to you wherever you are upon this planet. And maybe some ETs are online with us too. I imagine that they are. So I'm lighting my candle with your candle. And together we are bringing the unstoppable light to all the dark places. Ah, beautiful. Denise, thank you. You're a hospice nurse. Yes, yes, those you love are waiting in the next realm for a reunion. Thank you for sharing that, Denise. So God bless you all. Creation, creative source, whatever you believe in. Much, much love. Thank you for being here today. Bye for now.